Hello and welcome to episode 25 of BALBOA Park. I am Nicoz Balboa and I'm a trans man and I'm Italian, even though I'm living in France since 20 something years. I'm a tattooer and I do graphic novels in Italy and in France. And in this podcast, I talk about the creative process as a way of self-investigation. Welcome to episode 25. The past episode, I was talking about the creating and the creating content. And I'm still on this refiguring out social media because the more I'm disengaging from social media those days, like every time I want to post some content and then I wait a little bit and I realized that social media has changed a lot. I feel a little bit off, even though, as I always say, I have Instagram since 12 years now, and okay. But actually, I realized that the media has changed so much, and I don't feel very professional, very skilled those days because the video quality is very high and everything is so professional, so high quality, and so smart and so fun. I don't know, maybe it's the AI um, advent or something, but the more I go on my Instagram and I'm like, okay, I did this tattoo, and actually, okay, I'm putting together all the videos I've done during the process and I put them together and I put a song which is trending and we can call it a day. And but I can't figure it out because, for example, the other day I did this silly video and it got like almost 10k visualization, and but it was like just a funny video about back hurts that hurts when you are a tattooer. And then I'm posting about the graphic journal that for me is very important. And I post about my tattoos and the process and everything. And like between maybe 500 and 1,500 people see it. And my idea of coming today here was like, okay, let's experiment about this. And the more I was thinking about it, and the more I didn't want to record the podcast, and the more I was like, actually, I think that I don't give a fuck about talking about social media. Anyway, I think it's useful, and it's something that is worth going looking into it, especially when you are a creative and you have to make a living by showing your visual art, and but also like for people who do music, and I know it's very important. It's not that it's not important, but I guess that I don't care for now going to look into it. I was thinking that yeah, that it would be useful. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's useful to talk about it. It's weird, but and so I was thinking, okay, I should talk about social media when you are an artist, but um, then today I was walking to the post office to send some zine for the Strangeland members, the Strangeland non-profit members that get one zine a month with graphic journaling exercises and writing exercise by Justine, and news like in the mail, actual mail. And I was listening to Taylor Swift because with my daughter we got a present from a friend and we are going to the Eras tour. And if there are some Swifties around there, this is a very big deal. And we were trying to buy a ticket like since last July, and we couldn't manage. and it was a big part of our life, like talking about the Eras Tour and watching the Eras Tour and going to the movie theater to see the projection of the Eras Tour. Anyway, and it's fun. I guess I already talked about this in this podcast. Like having a daughter got me so elastic about my taste and about what does it means to have artistic taste. Because before being a Mr. Mother, I knew very well which was the music I wanted to listen to, and the music that talk about my tastes, and all those music that were too much of production and it was pop and it passing on the television. I didn't want to hear. The more my daughter grew and the more she sometimes would listen to very bad music. She got a period, Katy Perry period, and when she was 8, she had this Taylor Swift period. But also, and then the more she grew up, and when she was like 9, and she started listening to Pixies and also Nirvana, and she had this huge moment in which she would listen to Clash, but also to Angèle, which is this Belgian singer who sings in French, which is very pop. And so, looking at her, I realized that taste doesn't mean shit, that the role of music, of art in general, I guess, it's like living a moment, understanding a moment, and being able to feeling it even more. It's like, for me, it's like music open a door between what I feel and what I allow myself to feel. It creates this corridor, this hallway from which my feelings can come up and I can notice them. And so it's not about who's the singer and what's the record company, but more about what this person can make me feel. To come back to this morning, I was walking to the post office and listening to Taylor Swift, a playlist which is the Eras Tour set list, because I'm going, and so I'm studying the songs, I'm studying the lyrics, even though now I can totally guess each Taylor Swift Eras Tour songs, like within the few minutes. I just have to sing very fast in order to arrive to the refrain, and then I'm like, yes, this is the title. So I was listening to Taylor Swift while I was walking in the street in the rain, and then in a moment there were this song, and I got so moved that I was walking in the rain with my earpods, listening to Taylor Swift and crying. And I was like, what? I got like a burst of emotion and tears down my eyes. And I was like, okay, luckily it's raining, and I'm not, maybe I will not meet anyone in the street, because La Rochelle is a very small town, so you always like meet someone. And so this got me thinking so much, because, as I was saying, the role of art, the role of artistic production is bring emotion. Also, not only, of course, you can bring message, you can be very politics, but I guess that the being in contact with the emotion, it's very political, because it means that you are true to yourself. You can't mess around what you feel. You can see it, and therefore you walk in the world a better human. when you are in contact with what you feel, I guess. It's more like my work is actually making art, which is, for me, there is no hierarchy around this. You make a drawing, you make art, you make a song, you make art, even though you don't exhibit your drawing, or even though you don't play in a stadium, you are making art. And so I make my living with making artistic production, with my books, with my illustration, with my tattoos, or also when I give my graphic journal classes, it's also artistic production, because we in those classes we make art. And so even though this is my life, I every time I think about my work, I think my work don't matter, because I'm not like a medical professional, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't really change the world by being, I don't know, suing companies that are bad for the planet, or I don't know, I can't even fix a car or a bike, and I can't mm, I don't know, fix the toilet if they broke. And so every time I'm like, okay, this is the most useless job somebody can have. I often think about this, like, yes, but this is art, it's not useful. And then sometimes I realize, oh, art is not just the object, it's not just the song. Those maybe are not very useful, because if you just write a song and the song sits in a recorder, or I don't know, in some place that don't listen to it, or if you make a drawing or a painting or a book, or you write a book, and those production, they stays all alone in a drawer. So yes, art is not useful, like it's useless. But before, when I was walking and listening to Taylor Swift, I got this epiphany in like, okay, art, maybe it's useless at the end, but the art practice while you do, we always talk about this, is all about channeling a feeling within ourselves. So this part is not useless. And the fact that when art get in contact with the person that sees the picture, read the book, listen to the song, there is a feeling which is created. There is a connection, there is emotion that arise. It's like when I feel like it's like humans can create the emotion that you can only have in nature. Like if you look at the marvelous sunset, you feel this longing, you feel this beauty, you feel this emotion. The same way, if you go to a museum and you look at a painting, or you go in a Roman church and you see all the frescoes, all the painting from the Barocco or the Rinascimento. And maybe I'm not saying something which is very new, I know. I guess that a lot of people thought about this before me, but it felt very good to realize that the connection that with feeling and with other people that you can create with art, it's like something that can create maybe on their own. Or maybe you can do this also if you cook a cool meal and you share in a table, or if you take a walk in nature with your best friend. Or I guess that maybe I want to rephrase it. Maybe art is not the only way, but it's another way in which we as human, we enjoy life when we create connection. Yes, this was my welcome to my TED talk. Oh no, welcome to my podcast. I want to know what you think about it. Let me know. And also, like, so maybe today I'm a little bit, soft. I am soft because I'm going to this live show with my daughter, which I already know she will be so happy to be there. And so I will be so happy to see her so happy. And also I'm a little bit moved because I have this friend that gave the ticket to us as a present. And so I need to process all those emotions in which I guess it's very difficult to receive for me. And so but it's also feel very good to feel like seen and loved in some way, and also like to enjoy this completely, and it's very cool. So what do you think about art? What's for you when you go to a museum, to a concert, when you see a movie, or maybe when you spend those moments making art or looking at art or reading a book? I would like to know from you, what's the thrill, what's the reason that push you to in contact with art? Let me know, and I will probably record the next episode after Taylor Swift concert, so I will keep you posted. And for now, please leave 5 star wherever you are listening to the podcast, but also maybe you want to subscribe. You can go to Nicoz balboastudio.com, and there you will find all the link to my Substack newsletter, in which you can receive my podcast directly in the inbox, or you will also have the link to my graphic journaling page on Patreon. In this page you can subscribe and come to the live class, but you can also just buy the replay, buy the videos, and take the class on your own at your own pace. And thank you for listening, and talk to you very soon. Bye bye.